Well, guys, welcome to really the first session of what it means to lead a group. And the way we're going to look at this, and each one of these sessions will just be a handful of moments. And the first part of this is going to be the whole idea of mapping out your run. And what I mean by that is anytime you run a race, anytime you decide to go into training, you've got to have an idea of where you're going to run, what it's going to look like. And the way that I would define that is really through vision. See, here's the thing, vision drives everything. At the end of the day, you've got to get clear on what the vision of your group is. You've got to get clear on what the bullseye is. What's the map of the race that you're going to be running? And so I want to actually begin with the vision of what we do with Hope Groups. And this is the way that we've communicated. And you can go ahead, you'll have an outline, and you can fill in some of these things. This is the way that we've said it, is Hope Groups, LV, they create environments for people to belong, to be known, and to be sent to live the life of a Jesus follower. As you know, as you're part of Hope Church, you know that our vision is to connect people to live the life of a Jesus follower. You know that any length of time you've been here, you've heard us use the words like abide and connect and share. But how do those things flesh themselves out in the context of community? Well, this is what we're going to talk about with those three words. These environments that are created, these circles that are created, they're intentional. And they're environments. They're environments for people to connect. Now, what do we hope takes place in these environments? Is it important to do a certain Bible study? Or is it important to have a certain number of people in your group? Is it important to meet on a certain night? All those things are good, but none of them are the vision. None of them are the bullseye. None of them are the map. So what is it? Well, it really comes down to those three words. The idea of we want environments to be places where people belong. We want environments to be places where people are known. And we want these environments to be places where people are sent to live the life of a Jesus follower. Now, what does that look like? Well, in your outline, this is the way we described it. Belong means that we want these environments to become a family. To become a family. Now, this is the way that we've kind of said in the little blurb in your outline. We said that the greatest emotional need we carry is to be a part of something bigger than ourselves. We want to know that we're welcomed and wanted. Yet the greatest fear is putting yourself out there and being dismissed. Every one of us, we want to be seen. Now, why does this matter when it comes to a group? Well, at the core of every person that is in your circle, whether or not they're there 1 week or whether or not they're there for 10 years, is they want to feel like they're wanted. They want to believe that they're welcomed. They want to believe that they're a part of a family. Now, why does that matter? Because here's the thing. You can have phenomenal content, an incredible study, but if someone doesn't necessarily feel wanted or welcomed, if they don't feel like they're a part of a family, not a perfect family, but a part of that family, they won't stay. In time, they may learn something, but they won't live it out, at least with you. So the top of that list is creating an environment. The bullseye is we want people to belong, to feel like they're a part of the family. Number two, we want the environments to be fully authentic. Fully authentic. We call it being known. Here's how we describe it in your outline. It says the greatest relational need we carry is to be fully known with no hiddenness and still fully loved. We want others to know the truth of where we struggle and what we need. Yet our greatest fear is sharing truth and being rejected. We all want to be extended grace. Wouldn't you say that's true? At the end of the day, we want places where we can kind of take off the mask and just be in process, not land in perfection. We know who's perfect, and it's not us. But we want to be a part of a community where we can be fully authentic. Why does that matter? Because here's the thing. If someone walks into that room and they're a part of your circle, and they pretend, and they feel like they're so guarded that they're thinking to themselves, I don't ever want to go there. I don't want to ever be fully known. Because of fear of rejection, here's what's going to happen. They will never experience being fully loved. Because there'll be a part of them that always wonders, yeah, they love me, but. They'll love me if. They'll love me until. And the truth is we do that in relationships all the time. But the church, if the church is to be the church, we're to create environments where people walk in and they're just a group of broken people that acknowledge that they're broken, recognize that they're broken, know that they're in process, and they look around and they realize it's a Me Too experience. Because they're not trying to perform. They're not trying to keep the mask on. They're actually in a place where they can take it off and they can say, this is where I am. It's the whole idea of being fully known, to be completely authentic. And so that's the bullseye number 2. Here's the last one when it comes to this idea of mapping out your run. And it's the idea of being sent. We want these environments to become sending pads to disciple more people. This is the way we've said it in the outline. The greatest mission we carry is to go and make disciples. We want people to experience the life change that God has done in us. Yet our greatest challenge is the busyness of life. Here's what I mean by that. When God creates this circle, when He brings people together, and you start to feel like family, and you start to experience that authenticity where you can be fully known, there's a tension in us that kind of says, now it's kind of us four and no more. And that can't ever happen. We've always got to be looking out. We've always got to be asking ourselves, who is it that does not have a circle that needs one? Who is it that feels like they have been disqualified from all of this and needs to be invited in? And not just that, at some point along the way, Pastor Vance has said this numerous times, as soon as you make Hope your church, we're going to try to convince you to leave. And here's what he means by that, is he's trying to remind us that everything that we've been given is not just for us, but for someone else. That if we don't give away what's been given to us, here's what's going to happen. We'll lose it. We'll become religious people. And so this whole idea of being sent to live the life of a Jesus follower, it can look a lot of different ways. Maybe God may tap you on the shoulder. Some of you who are leaders, God may tap you on the shoulder to go on a missions trip. Or He may tap you on the shoulder to plant a church. Or He may tap you on the shoulder to lead another group. He may tap some of the people in your group on the shoulder to go ahead and multiply and see many groups be formed out of that one. We just don't know, but here's what we do know. We know the mission. The mission isn't just about us, it's about others. And so we want to live the life of Jesus follower. Here's what we know about Jesus. Jesus told us, He gave us the Great Commission to go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and Son and the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey all that I've commanded. See, the group, it's an incredible community. It's a family. But if we're not careful, we'll look inward and not outward. We've got to be constantly asking ourselves, how do we take what God has done here and see it replicate itself out there? And even more importantly, how is it that we can take what's happened in here and serve and lead and reach and minister to the world out there? So yeah, this is incredible. This is extraordinary. When you have a sense of family and belonging where people feel like they're known and they're safe, I tell you, very few things ever feel that good and that deep. But the problem is that, again, we've got to be right from the very beginning that when we experience that, it's not just for us. It's got to be for the world. So we want you to be reminded that our mapping basically looks like environments for people to belong, be known, and be sent to live the life of a Jesus follower.